Hi guys, and welcome. I am Enigmius, and this is episode 4 of the Ultimate Feed the Beast Reloaded. We have a busy day today. Too much to fit into one episode, so we're not even going to try. We're just going to cover the highlights, and then we're going to get down to some building. We are up at the top of the world once again. You can see I've added some kinetic generators and wind turbines. We are definitely making progress in that category, but I've also added some solar panels to supplement the power that we're generating, and made sure they're far enough out that these guys aren't pretending to block their light or anything like that, and trying to mirror it on the other side as I get materials to do so. These solar panels are not cheap to make. If you're running low on nickelite, it's tough to make these guys in any significant quantity. But the neat thing about it, and these are almost more aesthetic as they are functional, because when you look at it from underneath and a certain distance away, it's starting to look like a satellite, which I think is kind of cool. But they're still, definitely functional and helping to supplement the power generated by the kinetic generators. So we're making progress there. And then we're actually going to head all the way down to the farm. We're not even going to go into the base to show you what's going on there. There's all kinds of stuff going on in there as well. But it would take too long to review it and get any building done. You can see I've done some fencing. I've done some, there's a utility room down there that's got me getting an arrow in the face. It's got basically tools and machines and stuff. I've got 3 coal coke ovens, a blast furnace, an assembler for the Steve's carts, things like that, a rolling machine, all the good stuff related to what's going on down here. And you can see actually my Steve's cart, the perimeter defense cart, is actually coming around, and it's completely out of arrows, so we don't get to see it shooting today, but we're in the process of trying to remedy that. But you see here, since the last episode, I've gone and I've obviously extended the track around the full perimeter, and I've also got an extended sugar plantation, if we want to call it that, because so many villagers wanted paper and books and things of that nature. I figured it would be a good idea to just make sure we're covered, and it's nice and straight and clean. And I was originally thinking of trying to get a Steve's cart to automate the whole harvesting and replanting bit, and then realized that it's not really such an involved process to harvest and replant sugarcane that I was going to bother. I'll just, whenever I need some, I'll just come and do it manually. I'm totally fine with that. So we got a large area for our farm. Now keep in mind, we have different things that we want to plant. We got flax, we got wheat for sure. And we also want room for cows to live happily ever after, breed like rabbits, and provide us with all the leather we can handle. And then over here, I'm in the process of building a chicken coop, which is basically to serve the purpose of providing me with feathers so that I can make my own arrows. I've actually got a gravel grinder. That's not even an appropriate descriptor. I've got block breakers and deployers arrayed in such a way as to deploy gravel and break it, and then collect any flint that it drops towards those arrows. And then here, we're going to set something up so that we'll have a bunch of chickens, and they'll be laying eggs, and the eggs will be picked up by transposers. And then once we've got lots and lots of chickens, we can go and kill them all, gather their feathers, use them to make arrows, and then take all the eggs that were picked up by the transposers and make more chickens to start the process all over again. But you can see, obviously, I've got some dirt. The perimeter is set up, and I put some pneumatic tubes just to mark where the transposers will go. And then I took a step back and said, okay, how does that look in terms of space? And if you just compare, like you pretend a skeleton is in there, or a chicken is in there, how many can you fit in there before it starts to look really stupidly overcrowded? Not as many as I would like, so we're actually going to extend this out to almost the shoreline. I've got all the materials to make all the transposers that I'll need. I should be fine to make more tubes if I need them. And realistically, it's just going to be a quick and dirty way of getting feathers, and, the meat is not a bad thing either. So we're going to, I guess we might as well just get right down to it. So here we go, building in a thunderstorm with a laser and a drill. that's about it. I don't even know if I can call this a build right now. It's more of an excavation. We are digging, and you can see the mining laser on horizontal mode just blows the crap out of everything. We've got zombies. We got the slime army kind of sent a detachment to mess with us. I don't know why they hate me so much. Spider jumping me from behind. And you can see all the water dripping all over the place. That's not why I'm actually putting the dirt down and making a wall. It's because my inventory is full. And rather than go and stick all this dirt and cobble in a chest somewhere, I figure I know I'm going to use it to fill in this stuff anyways. I might as well just kind of kill two birds with one stone. And I'm really, really bad, as you've seen, for just accumulating chests and chests and chests of raw materials that I'm never going to use. So, I mean, you can see this goes really, really quickly, especially with the advanced diamond drill and the mining laser. And I actually really enjoy these builds sometimes. It's really, really simple. You can see, I mean, I'm always harping on the shoebox builds, you know, the really straightforward rectangular kinds of things. Sometimes that's all it takes to be entertaining is, you know, we've got a rectangle going here. And now I don't need this whole area for any kind of facility. I've got, you know, my main facility literally a hop, skip, and a jump away. What I really want to do, though, is try and kind of centralize where I'm getting the materials to make arrows for my arrow cart. Now, you're not going to see any monsters dying to arrows in the background while my cart circles around because it's been out of arrows for a really, really long time. So what I've decided is that we're going to produce the arrows in this area here, the area that I'm clearing out right now. That's exactly what it's going to be for, is producing gravel and then taking the feathers from the birds, and we're going to have wood coming in here as well, making arrows, and then it's going to be sent by pipe out to item loaders and unloaders and things of that nature so that we can keep our carts topped up. It probably means we're also going to be getting some lava production in here because those carts run for days and days and days on lava. So we'll be doing a little bit of that, and then this will be where they come at the end of their route to kind of top up on materials before they go out again and do whatever they're going to do. And I think I have to take another look at the route that the current cart is on because it's fun, but it's too large for him to actually kill anything. He'll start shooting, and then by the time he gets a couple of arrows into something, he's out of range, and he's targeting the next mob and all the way around, and that's why he ran out of arrows without actually killing a whole lot of anything. What I did notice, though, when it ran out of fuel not too far from... Well, actually, you might possibly see him run out of fuel here, is that he picked up a lot of eggs from the native supply of chickens that is in the area, and very, very few monster parts. So I want to probably split this route into two so that we get that kind of better coverage. The monsters that are being fired at actually do end up dying before the cart goes out of range, so that we're not just throwing arrows at mobs who don't care. And then the other carts will be on their own separate track circuits where they can, you know, drive around and do whatever it is they need to do. So we've got the redstone pipes in place so that we don't have to do separate wiring to get the redstone pulse to the transposers, so that they pick up things from their maximum area, which is one block in every direction, so a 3x3 square. And with the way that they're spaced, it means the full area that the chickens are going to be on is going to be covered by transposers. We can pick up their eggs, and when I go in and slaughter them all, we can pick up their meat and their feathers as well without having to worry too much about personal inventory space. It'll all be sucked into a chest down here. Now in the back left corner, you can see where I've got the gravel machine starting to get into place. I need to make more deployers and block breakers and get those in. But for the most part, you can see the redstone pulse. This is done, but for the dirt. Now chickens like to be on dirt. That is apparently where they're the happiest, so that's why I'm doing this. But it also means I'm going to have to come back later and put something underneath, so that invariably when the Endermen come along and pick up the dirt, the chickens don't actually fall directly down into the facility, because that could be kind of disastrous. We'd lose a lot of eggs that way. And then we get this, which is kind of going to wrap up our little time-lapse build section. I'm building the pens for the cows and the sheep. The cows and the sheep. And just like I did with the chickens, I'm putting this fence in too high. If you look in the background, you can see the chicken coop. The fence is 2 fence blocks high. And you can see also I've got sort of a tower ladder looking thing with a cobblestone panel on top. We're going to do the same thing here. That's for portal gun, so that I can put a portal gun portal on the underside of that panel And when I'm out in the field with my portal gun, if I see something that I want to send back to the pens, I can just give it a zap with the portal gun, and that's all it needs. So you can see these guys going in here, get a little cobblestone. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. I might change it to something a little bit more interesting looking later. But for the time being, it's going to be perfectly suited to our needs. So here we are. After all of our hard work, there's nothing complicated here. Let's be realistic. We flattened out some ground, and then we dug a hole, and then we built some stuff out of dirt with fences 2 blocks high, and put some transposers in with red stone pneumatic tubes so that we don't have to run any separate wires to get them to pulse. Now you can see I've done one and added some chickens. Some of these were created with eggs and others were captured with the portal gun. You see these cobblestone platforms here? And there's one there and one there. Those are specifically so I can put a portal on the underside and then go around and capture animals in the wild and have them drop into their respective pens. And then there's this one up here that is specifically for monsters, so that I can zap monsters with the portal gun and say over here, and they'll appear over here and fall to their death, which is just a lot of good fun. But it's also a good safe way to get rid of creepers, because spiders and skeletons tend to do their knockback thing at the worst possible time when I'm fighting creepers. So being able to send them to their deaths without any risk of explosions is pretty handy. Now that basically sums up what we've got going on. Now underneath, we might as well go take a look at the utility room underneath there. But first I want this off my action bar because I tend to accidentally use, it's got like a gravity gun sort of thing going on, and I don't like it. So we're going to go in here. You can see, oh, the eggs. Look at the eggs that my chickens have generated so far. Like, they're just crazy. Crazy egg-laying fiends those chickens happen to be. Suits me just fine, but I have to keep an eye on it. I think I'm actually going to need an overflow chest. Now, I'm not 100% done down here. You bugger. Hey, I'm trying to record. If you'd be so kind as to stop banging on the door, thank you very much. There's a little bit of a lighting glitch with these blocks. Obviously, they aren't supposed to be that dark. These ones, this bottom row is block breakers, and these are deployers. And I'm going to be feeding the deployers gravel, which they will place. The block breakers will break the gravel, and then they basically grab any gravel that, you know, they've broken, and the flint that may sometimes result, and feed it back through the system, which will go back up into the deployers over and over and over. It's lossy. You do lose gravel over time, which is fine by me. It's a more productive use of gravel than just jamming it in a void pipe. So I'm okay with that. We're going to use the flint to make arrows. We're also, like I say, we're going to use the feathers from the chickens to make arrows, which means all we really have left to do to get our arrow production facility going is get a wood source. And that's going to be part of the Steve's Carts farming shenanigan outside. Out here. It's daytime. Now this here was done by an Enderman, and I was literally like hovering above him like this, getting ready to smack him in the head when he did it. And I realized that this setup is not going to work for the tracks, because this cart was, in terms of resources, not expensive to make, but in terms of time to make all the individual components and then 40 minutes in the assembler to assemble it, I don't want this thing just kind of flopping off into nowhere and despawning. So I don't even know if it would. I don't want to take the chance. What I'm going to be doing is replacing all of the dirt under each track with black Zycordite platforms, which are not horribly expensive to make. I think I need to make some stone to finish these guys. Oh no, it's aluminum, which I've actually got upstairs, and I have so little use for aluminum. So 4 of these and a stack of iron ingot and 4 stacks of aluminum will get me, I think either 2 or 4 stacks of, here, instead of guessing, 4 stacks. So based on the materials that I've got, as soon as I add 4 stacks of aluminum, I'll end up with 4 stacks of dark Zycordite platform, which is blast resistant. It's not blast immune, but I don't plan on setting off any nukes in this world. And then I'm just going to go around and replace all these tracks with it. So that's the goal there. And then I've also got the Zycordite soil that I made with the green Zycordite blocks. One of my viewers suggested it, and when I first read the suggestion, I was like, I don't want to do that. And then I thought about it a little bit more. He said, you know what, that's actually probably a good idea for two reasons. One, it's different. That's probably the best reason, is we're doing so many things different than I've done in previous series. But two, if it makes things a little bit easier, then I'm all for it. So I've got, it's either 2 or 4 stacks of the Zycordite soil already made up, and I've got my quarry running, so I get a little bit of green Zycordite here and there so that I can expand it. So what we're going to do in the next episode, I might do a time-lapse of replacing this just because it looks fun. But realistically, the focus is going to be on getting the plant stuff into place. So our wheat, our flax, our trees, and anything else that I can think of that we need in the short term. And I'm also going to be leaving basically space for things that I forgot or that are added later. I might do some bee stuff in this area. I might add a pig pen. I don't know. I don't expect to, but you never know. I mean, I was out with the portal gun getting the cows and the sheep, and there were pigs all over the place, and I was like, if I take a pig, all it's going to be for is pork chops, and I'm going to have all kinds of beef and chicken anyways, so maybe for the time being I'll just leave them alone, but we'll have the space if we decide we want to expand later anyways, so it doesn't really matter. Then we can get on to some other things, but we're going to have a hell of a system in place for infrastructure, keep things running smoothly. We've got a slime convention over there. People say, hey, slimes aren't that bad. Bullshit. Look at those assholes. So that's where we're going. That's what we're going to be doing in the next episode, which will be out as soon as I can get it done. It's always good to have a plan before I actually finish one episode so that I can get started with the next one right away. So that's that. Leave your feedback in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video and you want to be notified when I add more, the easiest way to do that is to subscribe to my channel. So feel free if that's what you want to do, and we'll see you in the next episode. Take care, guys.